Okay, we're still in the East End of London, a couple of hundred yards up from Altab Ali Park, and I've brought you here to this wonderful mural. I'm going to talk about one particular person who's in this mural, but I can't neglect all of the other people here. So if you look carefully, we've got the twins in the middle, the notorious Cray twins, and to my right of the Cray twins we've got Lenin, because of course Lenin frequented this area, and he's having a chat with the Elephant Man. We have got Gandhi, and he is actually next to Trinity House, and Christian is actually just taken some footage of the Trinity House. And then to the foreground we've got Karl Marx, and next to him we have got William Booth, the founder of the Salvation Army, and next to him we've got Captain Cook. And of course this area was right next to the docks, right next to the river, and it was full of seafaring folk. And in the early 1800s it was becoming industrialized, but it was kind of semi-rural, and it was a little bit of a kind of a cowboy town. But I'm going to talk to you about one guy who actually endeavored to change the area, and that was William Booth, General Sir William Booth. He was born in Nottingham in 1829, and he passed away in 1912. Good long life. When he was young, he was from quite a poor family. They came impoverished, and he actually had an apprenticeship as a pawnbroker in Nottingham. And that must have had a profound effect on him, because, you know, people are going in, they're pawning treasured items, and, you know, you see people really at the bottom. And he had a kind of a religious conversion, and he became a Methodist. In fact, he became a Methodist lay preacher and a minister. And he continued in this work, and he was quite an effective preacher. But he moved down to London, continued his work as a minister, and he worked as a pawnbroker down here until he was preaching full-time. He married his beloved Catherine, and she stayed loyal to him all of their lives. But he felt constrained by the ministry. He wanted to kind of branch out and to spread the word. And in 1860s, he established what's called the Salvation Army. And I'll take you over to this statue where we can get a better view of him. When he was preaching on his own, he set up a Christian mission here in the East End. It was in tents, and then it moved on to music halls. You know, anywhere where he could get some ground, he established himself, and he was very, very successful. And at one point he was together with his son, and he was writing to somebody, and he said, "This organization is like a volunteer army." And his son, who was taking down the notes, said, "Excuse me, but I'm a regular soldier." And then William, he smiled and he says, "Cross that out, we are a Salvation Army." And they, with tongue-in-cheek, they were kind of military, and they were given ranks and so forth. And they actually did battle, because they were against the evils of drink and prostitution. And actually William Booth, he wrote a book, and in it he compared London at this time, at the height of the British Empire, to darkest Africa, for the poverty that was in the area. And he put two things together. He made a point of never preaching to anybody who was hungry. It was a mission where he would look after people's body and soul. And his motto was soap, soup, and salvation. And he had another catchphrase. He says, go for souls, go and try and save souls, and go for the worst. And consequently, amongst his congregation, he had ex-prostitutes, alcoholics, all, well, some people would call lowlifes, but he kind of resurrected them. And he was famous the world over. He made a trip to America and he was lauded there. He was hated by people in the drinks industry and brothel owners and people like this. And actually, one lady was actually killed when people attacked the group. In old age, he became quite feeble. He lost his eyesight and he lost his beloved wife. But he kept on up until the bitter end. And in a way, he was kind of like, he paved the way for the future. He was a little bit of a televangelist. He has some of his sermons filmed, and he did a tour of the country in an open car, and he would travel around and he would preach from the top of this car. But, you know, in the fullness time, as the paper said, he was promoted to glory and he died. And the streets were thronged with well-wishers and mourners. And the work continues to this day. It's Christmas time now, and we'll always see the bands playing Christmas carols in the street. And they are looking after people to this day. Now, Trinity House, I don't know exactly who runs it, but I remember a few years ago I was here, and I was trying to talk to somebody and find out how it was run. But the guy said, look, I'm a reformed alcoholic and I've been put up here and housed, but I can't talk to you now because I've got to go to church. And I looked over at this fella and it's almost like, yes, result. This was the type of transformation he was after. And I think I said it before, but he said, go for souls, but go for the worst. So he went around the poorest, the most destitute, and he brought them, you know, brought meaning to their lives. So anyway, actually I remember, I'll tell you one story. It's around the time of the Remembrance Day marches, and normally a few years ago I used to march with the London Transport Old Comrades Society. And I remember one time I was in my busman's uniform and my hat, and I had a military cap badge and a few dongs hanging off me. And I was in my local shop, and the people there, they were Tamil, and they were chatting. And now I don't know a word of Tamil, but I can't even know, they're saying, what's that guy dressed up like that for? Oh, he's Salvation Army. All I heard was Salvation Army, and I thought, well, I could be mistaken for worse. So anyway, that's William Booth and his wife Catherine, and may their work continue. Thank you for watching.